with Prashanthi. Prashanthi is our own secretary for this year for VMA, and I welcome all of you for this session. Every Friday and Wednesday, we are having some webinars which are adding value not only to knowledge, but skill and attitude also. Last masterclass which we had was focusing on attitude more than knowledge and skill. Today, it's all about the inner journey, which is an age-old tradition of Indian subcontinent. Patanjali is said to be the rishi who has given a systematic approach to yoga. And there are many definitions which are embedded in our literature, like yogena chittasya padena vacha malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yogaha karmasu kaushalam. And Gita also talks about many definitions of yoga. In nowadays, we assume that yoga is nothing but the different postures that we practice, which are one part of the Ashtanga yoga, which is yogasana. But it doesn't start with Ashtanga yoga doesn't start with yogasana. It starts with yam and niyam, which is basically the rules for life, for individual and for society. I am amazed by the approach our rishis have taken so many years back, which is talking about individual discipline and the discipline for the society. And to talk about this, today we have with us Prashanthi. Prashanthi is a very own BMA secretary for this year. She has been on the executive committee in the last 3-4 years and very active. She has her management education from IIM Bangalore and has over 20 years of rich corporate experience with Satyam, Oracle, Target, Barclays, and Yes Bank. Currently, she has started her own venture, Naumena, with global clients. She is involved in consulting in business strategy, innovation, transformation, turnaround, partnerships, collaboration, and many more areas where she is helping the clients for making the processes, the systems, the objectives, the vision, mission of the organizations. And so true for BMA also. As a secretary, she is helping us to create processes which will make our integration of the systems that we are adopting. And since over 1 year, as it is happening digital, her digital expertise is also helping us in making BMA more effective and more efficient in terms of our work. I am very happy to welcome you, Prashanthi, today, because as we know that you are part of EC, but this aspect of yours was not known to many of us. And thanks to Chaya madam, she mentioned that Prashanthi can talk on yoga, and let us celebrate Yoga Day, International Yoga Day, which the whole world celebrated on 21st of June. But it is always said that it's not about the day, it's about the continuity, and it's about the routine regime that we follow for well-being. So with these words, I welcome you all the past presidents who are present today, and the members, and some student members are also there today to listen to you. Over to you, Prashanthi.
Thank you, Kavita. I think Kavita covered the maximum about what yoga is and the basic fundamentals behind yoga. I think that's a very great start. Thank you very much for that, setting up that tone for the session. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for this warm welcome. I'm part of this team and so proud to be part of taking a session today. And definitely, I'm not going to be talking about how good yoga is, or not going to teach some of the fundamentals, or I'm not going to chant anything, no mantras, no chanting, but I'm going to be talking about my journey. I'm going to talk about how yoga has been part of my life through and through, and I'll talk about few fundamentals that actually has helped me, which I could share, and probably I'll open it up for questions at the end. I have a little bit of takeaways for each one of you on daily practice, which you don't have to move from your chair, sitting in your chair, how you can actually, yoga is not about body, it's about your mind as well. I hope everybody connects to that statement. I would like to start off with that. So before I start, Oindula or Lakshmi, can you give me access to share my screen? So I would like to share.
You can.
A presentation, yeah. Okay, this is just an anchor slides for me. There is no really great content out there, but I would like to share this while I'm talking about my journey. I hope everybody can see it. Wonderful. Thank you. So when Kavita approached me for the session, I was thinking what I should share, because I'm not going to be standing here, showing, taking an online class. I think some of you might have joined thinking there is an online class. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but ping me offline and I can do an online class for you separately. But today, when I talk about yoga and celebrating life with yoga, right? So that's what I would like to share my experiences and my journey with all of you. It's been a very, I would say, it continues to be an eye opener, and it continues to evolve and empower me every single day. And do I practice every day? Almost every day. And in the last, I would say, 18 years, I've been practicing almost every single day. Almost. I want to keep that a little bit of gap to say that nobody's perfect, right? So when we talk about celebrating life, I want to say that yoga has been my passion, and how that has turned out to be prudence. Let me show it to you, right? So before we start talking about our journey, I want you to like draw parallels and relate to some of your own journey, and also look at how this could be helping you, or how do you want to start off. It need not be yoga. It could be anything that you want to hold on to as a passion and turn it out to help your life journey, right? So when I talk about current situation, let's address a little bit about the pandemic, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, during pandemic, all of it. Be it pandemic or not, right? Pandemic has brought out a lot of insights, a lot of self-awareness, we are learning about ourselves so much every single day, to evolve and to look at what we should have been done, what is important for us every single day, or everything changed. The perspectives have completely changed, and it has actually formed a new norm for all of us to look at from here on. Like priorities have changed. I think for most of us, health has become topmost priority. I'm saying most of us because all of us are on that journey to explore and discover about ourselves. So when this is the case, is this the first time as humans we are facing something like this? Yes, absolutely. At least most of us, right? But is this something that we've seen? What is that is like actually kind of trying to, that we are resisting against? Okay, let's look at those four. I've categorized this as four evolutionary, basic evolutionary problems as humans we face as humans, right? First thing is existence. Like existence is something like survival, right? Immediate thing for us, like instinct comes to is, first thing is to like say that survive. Like we have to exist, we have to look at our existence, look at our survival first. Second thing is adaptation and change. Like how do we, when there is change happening, when there's an adaptation of that change, there is a lot of resistance around that. Again, that's considered as a challenge to look at how we are handling that part of it. Now, the third is also very important. It is imitation or replication, reproduction. I attribute this particular third one to nature. Like, nature has its own ways to turn it around in a small or big way. We've seen it in this pandemic wave. But all again, we try to go beyond. We try to think that we are above and beyond the nature, but no, it time and again reminds us back to say that we have that limitation, etc., to perform beyond our. We have to accept the fact, right? The fourth most important thing is the abstraction, the thought process around some of these challenges that we face day in, day out. So now when you look at it, how do are we creative, or is our thought process abstract enough? Our thought process, is it like limited? Is it like based on our limiting beliefs? Is it empowering? So when we look at it, these are the four basic fundamental evolutionary problems that we face as humans all the time, not just during pandemic, right? Again, I'm going to repeat: existence or survival, adaptation or change, replication, limitation, or reproduction. Or the fourth one is the abstraction, the thought process around some of these evolutionary problems. When we look at it, sorry, is there a question? Okay, when I look at it, first thing I would say is we'll just allow the nature to nurture us. First basic step is to say that forget about yoga, blah, 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 all of it, right? First, let's allow and accept that we are allowing nature to nurture ourselves, nurture each one of us, right? So with that intention, I'm going to start explaining about my journey. Now, I've categorized this journey into three parts. One is as a young child, young adult, and a grown-up adult, like three parts of my life. Now, as I look at how I'm going to draw parallels as well, how yoga is, when did it start in my life? How did I get to being called as a yogi, or I'm no yogi, first of all. Let me make that clear. I'm not a yogi. So when I look at it, what is that actually has been the fundamental base? I'm going to start from my as a young child. Now, before that, when did I realize that I was into yoga? I'll give you a short story around it. I was at my apartment gym one day, and I was coming back, and there were like set of my apartment friends who was like sitting around in the courtyard, and they saw me. One of them called me. Her name is Parvati, my friend, a very dear friend of mine. She called me and she said, she was discussing about her back pain, and she was like, I see you going to the gym every day. Can you help me? And then I said, why don't you try yoga? She said, okay, fine. Can you help me out with this? And one thing led to another. We agreed upon me helping her out with her back pain. I said, okay, we'll start from this coming weekend. And I sent her some, precautionary things before she comes to the class, and mentally preparing her for the class. So because I had never taken a class, this was sometime in 2011, I guess. Yeah, 2011. So that was the first time I was teaching somebody. Till then, I was practicing on my own. I was just doing my own thing. So when I started discussing with her and showed up in the class, I saw 20 people along with her in the first class. I was not expecting that. When I saw that, and I went with what I had prepared for Parvati, for her back pain. I just went with that basic. I gave more into like, saying what is the fundamental thing, what is the posture, what is the alignments, all of that. Now, that particular session that I took for them allowed me to recognize that how much I could part this particular knowledge that I had gained with a lot more people. That's when I started teaching as a community activity in 2011. I taught that was in Bangalore. I was teaching for about 3.5 years or 4 years, probably, before I moved to Mumbai. And of course, and it's been an on and off. I don't do it for commercials, just to be clear on it. I just do it for my passion, again, converting that into prudence. Now, I would like to share something as when I was teaching yoga for other people. Now, it made me think about my own journey. Like, when did I start doing this? Okay, let me share that with you. So probably I was 9 years or 10 years, I don't remember exactly, but as a young child, my aunt, my dad's older sister, who was very dear to me, and she's no more with us, but she's very dear to me. She practiced meditation, chanting, God knows whatever. I was not aware what that meant uh, in life at that point. She put me on this practice of, as a child, she said, she made me practice chanting. I think in every culture, we practice chanting, be it Christianity, be it Islamic, be it Hindu, we all practice chanting. I would not want to mention what the chant is, but I will just leave it there. The chant was very simple. And then she made me write something on my pillow before I, put my head to rest, to sleep every single night. So she used to like come and stay with us for about 3 months, 4 months at a stretch. She was going through some health issues. She was coming to Bangalore for some treatments. During that time, she put me in this practice of writing on my pillow. I could write anything, she would make me chant a simple chant, and she would make me write something on the pillow and make me go to sleep. Now that is something that I practiced as a child till I went to probably I don't know when I stopped practicing it. I did stop practicing it as a young adult, but as a child I used to do that. Now, what did that give me? What did that put me under? And I did not think about it much when I was doing that. But when I think about it now, it was allowing me to create my life. It was not some magical words I was writing. Whatever I wrote, it was actually registering in my subconscious mind. You know, when I say subconscious mind, let's say as a young child, probably whoever, whoever is grown up between 80s to 90s would relate to this. Our life as a child was only three things: probably a passion that you were interested in, sports, and studies. Apart from these three, we didn't have anything else. Television was very much less, and there was no gadgets at that point. So apart from these three, my focus was nothing else, right? So if I have to write something on my pillow, I would write something related to one of these three things. So when I was growing up, I was practicing creating my life. Okay. So now, how did that show up as a creation into my life? I'll just share one more little story. I was going to college, and my dad wanted me to study medicine, and I refused to study science because I said I don't like science. I don't want to go. He's like, if I'm paying for you, you are going to go to science. I said, if I'm studying, I'm only going to study commerce. So there was choice. Okay, there was clarity of mind. There was clarity in what I wanted in life. So when I look back, that practice of creating something previously, when I was lying down onto bed, it actually allowed me to create my own thoughts and be more clear about what I wanted, this might be a very simple example, but a lot more. I did a lot more things beyond that in my career, and going after a lot more things, right? That's a simple example where, of course, my dad then, when he went into the registration office, I don't know what changed, but he signed up for commerce and paid the fees for commerce, and rest is history. But when I look back of that very simple example, if I had not allowed myself to know what it was, but my life would have been different. Uh, I don't know if it would have done medicine or not, if I would have been a doctor or not. I don't know about that. But I have no regrets of what I've chosen now since then, right? I was creating my life. Now, did that come very naturally? Maybe because somebody had taught me, but I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing it because I liked doing it, right? Uh, I was intention, there was an intention, there was focus, and there was manifestation. Like I created, like saying that, okay, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to be creating. My focus just went there. It was not something magical that somebody else is doing it for me. Like there was no God involved, or I will not say that I don't believe in God. Of course, I do believe in the higher source. But what I'm here, I wanted to bring focus here on your intention, your focus, and how you're manifesting that into your life. That's all. It's very simple. Now, how does that go well hand in hand with gratitude? And a lot of us talk about intention and gratitude side by side. Absolutely. The more you're happy with what you are allowing to come in, the more grateful and more things that are going to be, that you're going to be inviting. So that's where intention and gratitude I could relate to. Now, moving as a young adult, when I say young adult, let me share another story. Mm. I went on to doing many things apart from my corporate job. I was learning how to go to the gym. I was learning different forms of fitness. I was looking at horse riding. I was looking at biking, running marathon, etc. So this was a time in the US. I was posted in the US for a particular assignment, and then I lived there for about 6 years. During that tenure, I was to do participate in marathons and biking, different forms of fitness. Now there was no yoga as such. There was physical yoga when I was growing up. I used to attend, uh, um, classes. Yoga was not never charged when I was growing up. It was a free service that was done in every community. So whenever I was invited to any of these meditation sessions or yoga sessions as a young child, I used to participate and I used to go. I was aware of what yoga was, forms of yoga, but I had not taken a formal class. So during this time in the US, United States, what I did was I actually had, there was this winter phase where I did not get a chance to go into any of these outdoor activities. So I was looking for something indoor. Then I was looking for a yoga school, which was close by. These were my criteria, which was close by, which was run by an Indian teacher, very specific that it was run by an Indian teacher and not nobody else. When I searched, I found one few blocks down the lane, and it said Director Rudrani. Okay, Rudrani. What a beautiful name, right? I was like, wow, this is amazing. I found what I want, and I called them up. I registered myself, and I was there showing up for the class. So the class, when I showed up, there was a American teacher who actually was teaching, and I sat there 2.5 hours, wonderful class. I came out, I still wanted to meet this lady, Rudrani. So I went up to the reception. I asked, hey, can you tell me when is Rudrani's class? She said, on the Sunday, every Sunday she takes. I said, okay. I was looking forward for this Sunday's class. When Sunday came in, I went to the class, and again, there was another American lady sitting there and teaching. I finished the class. Again, I was like disappointed. I'm like, no, I need to attend Rudrani's class, right? I went back to the receptionist and I said, listen, I really want to attend. Can you please tell me when is the class? She said, you just attended it. She's Rudrani. I was so shocked, firstly, and I was very intimidated. And I felt a little ashamed of myself. Um, uh, and suddenly, this hit me that what was I thinking? Because till then, was I enjoying the class? Absolutely. Was I learning? Absolutely. I was I loving it? Absolutely. 2.5 hours, Anusara yoga class. I'll come to the form of yogas in a bit. I was totally, ashamed of myself, of how I was thinking through about Indian-led yoga class and Indian instructor, blah blah blah. I walked up to her. I waited till she was having a conversation with other students, and I waited till she finished. And I interrupted. I said, I would like to talk to you. And then she said, yeah, tell me. And I said, apologized first. I said, this is what I thought. And she jokingly said she was intimidated seeing an Indian sitting in the class. Okay. So now she was running that school for about 30 years. And she shared her story. She came to India in early 70s, stayed in India for about 3 years to learn yoga and go back and, start her own yoga school. And that school still exists. It's called World Yoga Center in New York City. That school still exists, and it's been there for a while, and still actively running a school. So now, what did I learn from this experience? While yoga, while I was starting to learn formal classes of yoga in 2011 or 12, early that time, was no, sorry, 2007. This is early to 2000, 2007. What did this teach me? This taught me about being more about accepting and being aware in acceptance. Like this is just a small example from that part of my face. But I would like to, there were a lot more other things that I could relate to. But this example was something that has stuck with me. Awareness. What is awareness? Awareness is about your own self when it is happening, right? When it is happening means when you're experiencing that particular situation, you are aware about your own actions, your own, your own thought process. Everything is coming right there. Your alignment. Now, did this come to me very naturally? No. It comes, it goes away. It comes, it goes away. Sometimes I recognize, sometimes I don't. But when I'm consciously doing my practice every single time, going onto that mat, putting myself out there, doing each day of practice, awareness and acceptance come in hand. It reminds me every single time. Awareness levels have gone up, and I continue to practice. I will not say I'm perfect with awareness and then acceptance. I do falter sometimes, but this is a learning that I have. It's left me with, right? Now, as moving on. Coming to as a grown-up adult as of now. So how is yoga continuing to help me in my day-to-day life? When I say trust is to surrender, this is one of the biggest things that has come to me, especially post-pandemic, pre-pandemic, or into my life as I move forward. One of the major factors is trust. Like I'll give an example. When I get onto my mat, I trust my mat. I trust the ground. I'm there. I'm fully there, aware, be there, right? Now I surrender. I don't fight it. I don't resist. I surrender. I surrender when I don't get a particular pose or when I don't get into a particular form or alignment. Each person, each individual has their own alignment. Each individual has their own way of showing up on the mat. Now, when I show, I completely trust and surrender to the process. Trust and surrender to the mat. Now, this part of surrendering onto the mat has taught me how to surrender in life in certain situations. When I say that, you have to trust the process that your timeline, you have to trust your timeline. Each one of us have our own timeline. The great example that reminds me is time zone, right? When I say timeline, relate to it as somebody living in India have different timelines, time zones, right? Somebody might wake up early, somebody might wake up late. It's a perspective. For an Australian, somebody waking up one day later in the US might be thinking, oh, they're waking up late. But for an American who's looking at an Australian, he's thinking that somebody else is waking up early. The sun rises early here, probably sun rises late here. It's a perspective, right? Now the timeline. When I say timeline, my timeline is my timeline. I have to trust my timeline. Each one of us have our own timelines, saying that when it has to happen, it will happen. My timeline I will have my chance when it comes to there, right? Somebody else might be performing on the mat absolutely fantastic. If you're seeing the pictures right here, you might be thinking, oh, this is she does it so gracefully. This is after a practice of 18 years. Now, when I talk about it, when you ask me to do this now, I don't think I'll be able to just get up and get into the form. But it does take that intention, it does take that awareness, it does take that trust and surrendering to that mat. So similarly, in our lifetime, the timeline part, each one of us have a timeline, trusting that this timeline will work out for me to surrender to the process of your own journey. We can call it as a journey as well. And that's when you actually have an experience of your own timeline manifesting or coming to life. Now, another story here. How do we do that, right? For me, trusting and surrendering to the process is a huge thing that I've learned. And trust is like, whom do you trust, right? Of course, I have family, I have friends whom I hold on to like anchors, right? Every single time that I can't make a decision, I go back to bouncing it off with this family member or my friend, closest friend. Now, that is something that who are those people? The people who are going to give you undivided attention, when I send you attention for what you're talking, right? They're listening to you, and they're not taking any sides. Like they're not pacifying you for because you are their friend or family, so that, oh, don't worry, everything will be fine. No, that's not what they're saying. They're saying if somebody else can do it, you can do it. You know, this is what my brother keeps saying. If somebody else can do it, you can do it. So both of us, my brother and I have grown up in this under the same roof. We've been, brought up with no gender biases at all at home. Such being the case, we've been given equal opportunities, equally empowered at home. When we look at that kind of an empowerment, when I bounce off something with him, with great trust, he also with unbiased, like very candid feedback or suggestions are coming from him, right? So similarly, if I talk to a friend, the friend is actually giving me the similar kind of feedback or a learning, an evolution. It's a ground to evolve. It's a space that I have created for myself to evolve from that trust factor. So is that only one person? No, it is multiple people for multiple issues. You know, you're talking relationship with somebody, you're talking career with somebody, you're talking finances with somebody. You have that shoulder to trust on. You know, you're surrendering to that particular element of life. So this is what I would like to share, saying that you're creating your life with intention, awareness, and surrendering. Now, this is something that I've learned over the past years through yoga, through practicing every single day. So I will pause here before I start talking about anything else. I mean, I have some more to share, and this is not it. There is a little bit more, like another 20 minutes of something that I want to give you, something that you take away. I'll stop here if you have any questions with this part. Yoga specific questions, we will come to it. I have more to share about the different forms of yoga. I want to share a little bit of techniques that you can use for yourself. But if there's anything that here, but otherwise I'll continue. No, okay, cool, great.
So Prashanthi, I will just request you to make this surrendering what you are saying. So is it giving up? Surrendering is most of the times is giving up. I surrender because I am giving up. So are we on the same page?
No, Kavita, thank you for asking that question. Absolutely fantastic question. Thank you. Surrendering is not about giving up. Okay, that's a great question. Some of the the meaning itself changes there. Surrendering is not about so trust and surrender. When I talk about trust, is to trust is to surrender, means you're trusting. I'm trusting that mat, and I'm surrendering, saying that whatever it's good or bad right now, I'm okay to go through that and learn and come out. Okay, I'm not resisting that this is the only way that I want to go. I'm not resisting. I'm not saying this is the only thing I want out of this issue. So most of the time we are so stuck, like we are wanting that end result. We're like so like wanting that, right? Like for example, a job interview or a relationship. I want to make things work with this person, or I want this job absolutely. I'm like desperate to get onto this job, or something else that you're like wanting desperately. Once you release, when you let go of it, means you're surrendering to say, I'm okay to accept good or bad that outcome. I'm not going to focus on the outcome, right? So there's a beautiful song in Kannada. Okay, I'm going to say that and I'll explain the meaning. Okay, it says, it goes like this: Halalladaru haku, neeralladaru haku, hayagi iruve Raghavendra. So this saint is singing to the Lord, and he's saying, you either put me in milk or you put me in water, I will be happy either ways. I will be the cream of the milk and fish in the water and live happily either ways. Okay, so surrendering is to surrender to the process of evolution, not to give up. So surrendering is like you're saying that either ways, I'm going to be happy either ways. My happiness does not depend on the outcome of what I'm going to be expecting out of it. My happiness depends on me. My happiness, either ways, I'm going to be happy, right? So if the situation turns out to be, gives that a result or not, I want that result, but I'm not going to hold on to that result and cry over it, but I'm going to let go and I'm going to surrender. That's what I meant.
Prashanthi, I have a question.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
please.
In the beginning, you mentioned 4 problems: existence, adaptation, and change.
Yeah.
And the 4th one was abstraction. I didn't get the 3rd one.
Third one is about reproduction. It's about the nature, limitations. Like we talk about a lot of, going beyond the nature. We kind of, we think that we are beyond the nature. We are as saying that we respect, we go along with the nature, balancing it out.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Anything else? I'll move on. All right. So let's come to some of the things that I want. This is my journey. If you have more questions, we can take it up at the end as well. So, as I said, I have gone ahead and done a lot of things in my life, which I have no regrets. Absolutely fantastic life so far. And it's my choices. These are all my choices. In terms of yoga, I had started off with Hatha yoga. Hatha yoga is the purest form of yoga, the first form of, it's a branch of yoga. And I'll explain what it means. It consists of purifications. Like you must have heard about people, purifying their system through inhaling water through one nostril and bringing it out through the other nostril, or putting up a thread into their system and pulling out the thread out. So it's called purification. Okay, purification. There are techniques of purification. It comes from the Hatha form of purification. Second one is the postures. Postures is the asanas that we do as part of the practice. The third part of is the mudras. I'll introduce it to some of the powerful mudras here. Some mudras are nothing but you use your palm to use your, sensitive points in your fingers where it will help you mentally. This is for the mental and your meditation, right? Pranayama is to purify your internal breath and internal system, all the pranas inside that you purify. So that is the Hatha form. Now, this is the oldest branch of yoga, Hatha form. And there are other things but I have practiced. These are the 3 things that I practice. Ashtanga. Ashtanga was introduced, much later by Patabi Joish. Patabi Joish is from Mysore, and very famously spread across the globe. A lot of people practice Ashtanga, and Ashtanga is basically practiced in the form of 8 limbs. It's a connection of flow of 8 limbs. Ashta anga. Ashta means 8, anga means your body, limbs. So it's a form, it's an 8 limbs form, and it is done in the form of a connection. It is not done individually. Okay, it's not an individual pose or asanas that we are doing, but it's a connection of all forms of 8. Your 8 limbs are involved with breath and flow, the flow of the asana. Anusara is the modern technique, which is the one that I learned in the US. This is this was introduced by a gentleman called John Friend. He invented this he focused on alignment, body postures, etc. When you stand on the mat and when you extend your hands or extend your hands up above, it is about aligning your body to be still for at least few seconds. So alignment was the main important part in Anusara yoga. So this is the third form that I learned. Now, what is vinyasa? We keep hearing about vinyasa. Vinyasa means flow. Vinyasa means flow. It is not a form. It is the flow. It can be Hatha vinyasa. It can be Ashtanga vinyasa. It can be Anusara vinyasa. It is a vinyasa means it's a flow. So you have a particular flow when you're performing that particular posture. So this is the this is part of the overall yoga. Now, if you are going to practice yoga, like if you're going to any institution where I will not say that one is greater than the other. Okay, it is like you know what you like. I will not say running is good. I will not say yoga is good. I will not say something else, biking is good. I'll say you try it out and see what is good for you and what you like. And I love yoga. I love getting onto the mat. Now that is something that I have acquired as a liking towards. Now you might like to just walking, somebody might like running, somebody might like that don't like to sit still. I've heard when I'm teaching somebody, and I've heard people saying, I absolutely am scared to close my eyes. As simple as that. Closing your eyes, he's scared that the person can't close his eyes for a few seconds, which means that they're not comfortable of darkness. Okay. So you don't have to, unless until you want to explore that path, right? So I'm not going to say one is above the other, but I'm going to say explore and find out what you like. And again, it depends on the teacher. Okay, one of my friends said, when I go to some of the yoga classes, the teachers are not inspiring to look at. Okay, now what does it mean? I asked. She said, it's not about body weight, but it's about inspiring the class. I can't relate to staying in the class. So for her, that inspiration was very important. So figure out what is important for you. So for some of them, it is the flows. For some of them, inspiration. For some of them, the closest proximity. Some of them, as a group, you want to go. Like you want your spouse or your friend to go along with you for the class. It could be anything. Figure out before you say that yoga is for me or something else is for me. Figure out what is that your body is allowing you to explore. So fitness is not about the body. The yoga specifically, it's not about the body. As I said in the beginning, it's about your mind as well. It's about when I talked about be it intention, be it awareness, be it trust, be it surrendering. All of this comes with your practice of yoga. It is the outcome of a particular practice. It is the outcome to deal with your daily situations, deal with your changes that are coming up, the 4 evolutionary problems that I talked about. So I would leave this up to you to figure out. Okay, there's something that I want to show you. First is the 3 most powerful mudras. There are like a lot of mudras. If you look at online, material, there is tons of materials to read about yoga and learn about it. But these are the 3 things that I would like to part with you in this less time. I have put the picture of it. So I'm going to talk about the mudra. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the mudra. It's very simple. You go to touch your tips of each of these 2 fingers. Okay. And these 2 fingers will be free. You don't have to cringe them or you don't have to keep them still, nothing. Keep it very, very soft. It might even go like this. It's fine. And keep bringing back when you're doing this. So both your hands, right? Both your hands. You're going to use this mudra. It's called Jnana Mudra. Jnana Mudra, by its name, most of you might know the meaning of Jnana, like we use it in our Hindi language as well, means concentration, okay, to sharpen your memory, okay. This is the tips, not like this, okay, not like this, not like this, the tip of your 2 fingers touching each other. And these are not cringing, these are like soft and fluidic, okay. So this is called Jnana Mudra. So any mudras, you have to like sit in your lotus pose. Lotus pose is just crossing your legs and sitting on a floor. If you can't sit for a longer time without back support, sit in a chair. Okay, sit in a chair. You can't sit down, it's fine. Sit in a chair, feet flat on the ground, and put your both the palms facing upwards onto your lap. Okay, if you're sitting on the floor, you're crossing your legs, then your palms are going to be on the surface of the knee, okay, because you've crossed your legs. But if you're sitting in your chair, just put your hands on your lap and this one. So every day, put a timer, okay, put a timer for 5 minutes and hold this and close your eyes and sit down. Let your thoughts wander wherever it is. It is going to be very difficult to sit. It might seem very simple. It might 5 minutes. You might think, 5 minutes, kar lungi. But this will put you through a lot of stress around, oh God, when will I finish? When is that 5 minutes ringing? All that keeps going on. But allow yourself to sit down, to still, to help you benefit. At least you need 3 weeks of daily practice to start seeing the results of Jnana Mudra. Okay. The second form is Buddhi. Okay. The last little finger and your thumb. Okay. And the other three fingers together. Okay. So again, this one, you're going to touch your tip and hold it. Okay. Again, if you can't do this, if you're bending this, keeping these 3 fingers soft, it's fine. But the important thing is to touch these to the tip. Again, you're going to be sitting in the same posture, changing this. Okay. Again, 5 minutes. This is again for mental clarity. When I say mental clarity, there is a lot of, there is a difference between your conscious mind and subconscious mind. Our mind is like split between 2 parts, right? Conscious mind and subconscious mind. A lot of things, what happens is you subconsciously, your body knows what it wants. Have you realized sometimes you have this, splitting headache or some pain in your arm or back pain? You suddenly go and rest for some time. Your family is telling you, go take rest, go take rest. As soon as you rest, your body is telling, but you're not listening. Somebody is telling outside, then you're listening. You go and rest and the headache is gone or the backache is gone or, your shoulder pain is gone, because your body is trying to communicate to stop and saying that you need rest. You need to listen to this. There is a saying which says the pains in your body is already manifested in your thoughts. The last resort is your body, that it is hitting, the pain is hitting your body as a last resort. So this Buddhi Mudra will help you clear your conscious and subconscious conflict, and it brings congruence with conscious and subconscious mind to help you build clarity mentally. Okay. Now the third one, Shunya. Shunya is the ring finger and the thumb. Okay. And this one again, same thing, same posture, sit down. And Shunya is to improve intuition, alertness, sensory powers. I mean, not that you're going to become a magician doing this, but it's increasing. We talked about awareness, right? What are all intuition, alertness, sensory powers is all about learning about your own self. Okay. Let's say you're getting into a heated argument with somebody. Okay. You don't want to behave a certain way, but this is going to one to lead to another, to lead to another. So you are going to be more, if you're practicing something like this, it will help you be more aware about your own emotions and thoughts in every situation that you're handling. And so these are there are more to this, but how do you practice this? A simple way is to do it either early in the morning. The best time to practice that is called the what is that? Brahma
Muhurta.
Brahma Muhurta. Thank you. Brahma Muhurta. Okay. The golden hour of the day is between 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So people who want to get up later than that, because why do we say 5 to 7? I mean, it's usually between 4 to 6, but I've extended this to 5 to 7 because later the noise in the environment gets higher. In our regular cities that we are living in, the noises, especially in Mumbai, the noises starts getting higher and your concentration level goes down. Like when I say concentration, within your subconscious mind, right? So if you get up in the Brahma Muhurtam, you practice these mudras, or any other form of physical form, that Surya Namaskara, somebody was asking about Surya Namaskara, all of it would be much more powerful, effective to do it in that hour, because absorption of these results are much faster and much effective. You can even do it in the evening, especially before eating your dinner, last supper, or giving at least 2 hours gap between your last supper and this practice. Before you go into sleep, you just do it and you can go to sleep. So these are the 3 powerful things. And how do you do it? Put an alarm for 5 minutes and keep changing these mudras when you feel like it. It doesn't need to be 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever. gradually increase the time from 5 to 10 minutes to 15 minutes. You can do it when you're sitting in a meeting and you don't have to participate. You can just keep doing these mudras and sitting in the same form. And you can keep it under the desk. You don't have to show it to them and sit like that, right? You can keep it under your desk and you can sit and still listen to what's going on, right? So I would highly recommend to do this 3 mudras, which are very helpful. And one thing that I would like to part is a breathing technique which has helped the prana to, when I say prana, all the, crown, your throat chakra, heart chakra, your Mooladhara, all of it will align in terms of your stillness, your awareness, your intention will all keep going up and up if you practice this particular simple breathing technique. Again, as I'm saying, it can be 60 seconds to 2-3 minutes. You can go up to that number of minutes as well. One thing is you use your thumb and your little finger. Okay. You close your nostrils alternatively. I'm going to just close these fingers and show you. Okay. You close your nostrils alternatively. Now, what do you do by closing alternatively? You start with left nostril. You breathe out from left and breathe in. Okay, by closing your right nostril. Yeah, I'm closing the right nostril. I breathe out first and breathe in. I close as I breathe in. I breathe out from my right. I breathe in. Again, I close. I breathe out. Breathe in. Okay, it's very simple, and the breath need not be. It need not be so heavy. It can be soft. You should not even hear it yourself. It has to be soft and natural. Okay, these 2 fingers. Okay, and the middle 3 fingers will be. You can even, to support, you can keep it on your forehead. These 3. If you think it's too heavy to leave it like this, you can keep it like this. Okay, but as I show you. Okay, so you alternatively you're closing and opening it. You're breathing out and breathing in, breathing out and breathing in. So you start from left nostril, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Okay, so this is something that I want to share. It's been my daily practice, and what does, again, if you want to see result of any of these techniques that I'm talking about, you need to allow yourself daily consistent practice for at least 3 weeks. It is not instant. Okay, instant will disappear instant only. You run instantly for 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, you don't do 10 days, it will show up on your body. Okay, it will show probably that day. You're alert, you're like, you've run, you've come out, you're feeling energetic. Nothing wrong in running. I practice running too. But you need to be consistent, anything to sustain or see the result, what you're expecting it to be. Because yoga is working both on your body and your mind. It's just not your body, right? Body, mind, and your internal organs, it's cleaning, it's cleansing. One Surya Namaskara is equal to, like when I say one, there's a left and right both together. It's equal to 1 kilometer run. If you're practicing like one entire Surya Namaskara, it involves the left side and the right side. If somebody, please, if you want to know what's a good form of Surya Namaskara, please ping me, or I'll share it with Oindrila and she can share it with the entire group, a video of it. But if you do one, it's equivalent to 1 kilometer of running, and and you have to hold the pose for at least few seconds. Few seconds is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're holding that posture for 5 seconds, and then you continue to do another one, and then you hold it for another 5 seconds. So if you do that one Surya Namaskara one day, every single day, one Surya Namaskar, it is enough for you to say that I have done my practice today. It'll hardly take 5 minutes, and most effective is to do that one Surya Namaskara in a day. Some of them go up to 101. Some of them do 10, 20. So increase it gradually as you like it, and as you want to get more better results, faster results, and all the stuff. but start with one, start small, I would say. So this is my journey. This has been part of me for a while, for the longest. And if I look back, it has been there with me throughout my life, in the forms that I've talked about, in the forms like Hatha yoga, right? Hatha purification, postures, mudras, pranayama, all of it, is been part of me throughout my life. So yeah, I will stop here and want to hear. I think we are just about time, right, Kavita?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Prashanthi.
Yeah.
It was really wonderful to see your postures and the way you have put it as the routine that you are following for so many years. And there are many students also in this call today. I think they will get motivation to continue this practice.
Yeah.
And I will request if you have questions, you may raise your hands. Till the time questions are there, maybe I will request Indrapalji to unmute himself and give his comments.
Yeah, I think that session was very beautiful and very, very useful and with great clarity, Prashanthi. So thank you so much. And I think you have shown a way to lead a better life, especially I think for the students who are attending your session today. All of us have dabbled into yoga at some stage or the other, in some way or the other, but not with this kind of clarity and connections that you established. So I think there's a lot to learn from your presentation today. So thank you very much for sharing it. I think it will be of great use to everyone present here.
Thank you, Indrapalji. Thank you for that kind words. Thank you.
So till someone raises hand, Prashanthi, you rightly said that the body gives signals, and the signals one has to understand, and for that you need to go inside.
Yep.
Many a times we observe that very in nature also. For example, if you have a pet at home, a cat or a dog, they indicate the signals which is showing the health status of them, and so is true for human beings. But looking at outside only, we have forgotten to look inside, and that's why we do not know. My experience with some of the Shuddhi Kriyas, for example, Jalaneti and Jaladhoti, I think I have got very great results out of it. Whenever I feel that no, I need to do it today, and that has given me a lot of relief. Whenever the body says that yes, I need some cleansing inside out. So great. We have many questions and many hands raised. I will request Dr. Balak.
Yeah, I think Nalini has a question on the chat.
Yes, yes.
I'll answer that one. Thank you, Nalini, for asking for that. Yes, there is a reason why we have to start from the left nostril. Couple of reasons. My articulation is, even when you're doing your shavasana, I recommend turning to the left and waking up, okay? Because our heart is on this side, okay? So one is that, like you're directly and also the second part is your creative brain is on this side. And then also when you look at, the left form usually is the most less used form. Most of us are right-handed. Doesn't mean that people can't start from right side nostril. You can, but the effects are more when you relate to your heart, your side of domination, and your creativity from your brain point of view. So we start from left nostril and we end on the left nostril itself, so that the untapped potential is activated from the left side.
Okay, I want to ask you because when we do Kapalbhati, especially it's a Nikam Guruji's practice, like 108 or 54 from the right nostril, that is Surya Nadi, and then Chandra Nadi. In that case, we start with the right nostril only,
Mhm.
and Anulom Vilom with the left nostril. So I wanted to know what is the reason why this difference is there. Why is it said that Kapalbhati you start with right nostril when you are doing with both the nostrils, means Chandra Nadi and Surya Nadi you are trying to activate artificially, though we know that both the nadis never work together except in Brahma Murta for some time.
Yes,
So
yes,
that is
absolutely.
that is like you are activating Sushumna Nadi when both the nadis are working, and that experience is very rare.
Yeah.
And so far I have not got it. So I just wanted to know this distinction.
So when you're doing it from the right nostril,
Yes.
right? So that is another form, right? So that is another form because there is no logic specifically why, but when you're activating the left side, you have to use the other form to activate the right side. It is only to balance out. Okay.
Yes.
That is at
That's
least
why
my
it is
understanding.
Anulom Vilom. Yeah.
Yes. Right. To balance out the Anulom Vilom. Now, when you look at, when I'm telling that this has to be started from left, as I said, it is to activate these three things, like your heart, your creativity, your left side, which is like much more left, lesser used part of it.
Right.
Now, should I not start from right? There is no rule like that.
Right.
Okay. Some of them probably might disagree with me. It's absolutely fine. All of that. But here is what I would say: try it out and see what it gives out your results. Yeah.
Right. No, this sounds very logical and convincing to me.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I will request Dr. Hemjit Balaji. Please unmute and ask your question, sir, or your comment.
Yes. Good evening, and thank you very much for the wonderful session. I like the way ma'am said about Brahma Muhurta, because if one really comes to know about Brahma Muhurta, it actually starts, 1 hour, 36 minutes before the sunrise, and it has to stop before 48 minutes. So I think, looking at Mumbaikar, you have wonderfully put it across. Very enlightening session. I wanted to tell something which, having been a student of yoga for the last 30 years, the whole of, there were two studies, which one was the Signa studies, which ended in 2019, which said 85% of Indian population are suffering from stress. Let's not take 2021 because we all were affected by the same storm sailing in different boats. Second study, which worldwide they did, and they said out of every 3 Indians, one Indian is suffering from sleep disorder. And that also, we are all testimony to all those things. Having this said that, the other part of it, mind-body medicine very clearly says that 72% of the illnesses, 70 to 72% of illnesses are psychosomatic. So there we stop. Let's go back in the year 2000, 2 AD, when Vachaspati and Vyasa wrote the first commentary. Vyasa wrote in 2000, 2 AD. Before Patanjali, it's not known Patanjali wrote, but for Patanjali, Vyasa wrote it in 2nd century AD, and Vachaspati wrote it in 9th century. Both the studies said something thousands of years back. They said, mind. Okay, now mind body says all reason for psychosomatic illnesses are because your mind fluctuates between past and the future, and it never stays in the present.
Right.
Years back, thousands of years back, our Rishi Munis, especially on the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, they said the chitta, and chitta is actually what? The lower mind. Right. The lower mind is actually fluctuating between the past and the present, and the whole of yoga is how do we stop this fluctuation between the past and the present? Sthira Sukham Asanam, Prayatna Shaitilyam, everything talks about. So just imagine the beauty of our studies, that if the fluctuations of the mind from the past to the future is stopped, it is a cure for every psychosomatic illness, whether it is anxiety, whether it is stress, and whether it is any kind of disorder. So mind-body medicine today, it's becoming more and more, because they are bringing more and more illnesses to, stress. Whereas our own tradition, our own rich heritage has told this thousands of years back. So I'm glad that BMA took up such a topic, which really does justice to the whole of what the modern generation is suffering. So I thought, let me take this opportunity to thank BMA and Prashanthi for, enlightening this aspect, because that is the truth. Both are merging at one place where they say, you go back to all the psychiatrists who have spoken in the last 1.5 years, they say nobody can even think about post-COVID. They are saying, oh, what it was in 2019, December, 2020, January, February. So mind is in the past and future is not, future is all mixed up, but nobody is able to live in the present and reason out. So I thought, let me, express my gratitude
Thank
for
you.
bringing a such topic.
Hemaji, you actually touched upon a very, very sensitive and important emotion and sentiment here, which I would like to just add a few things before we move to the next question, Kavita. One thing in the modern, like, whatever Hemji ji said in the past, like from our, earlier days of, I will not say mention this because it should not become a religious thing. It is not a religious thing, but it is the historic way that we're looking at, and we're looking at how that has impacted our being, right? Now, if you look at it, simple way to form today is, what is stress? Stress is something that which I don't know, the unknown aspect. If I don't know what it is, then I'm building my stress too much. Like, I don't know what it is. If I knew what it was, will I be so much stressed? No. If I knew my relationship was like this, I will not stress. If I knew my job is going to be like this, I will not stress. If I knew how pandemic worked out, I would not stress, right? What is stress? Stress is in the unknown. If you know that it is in the unknown and you leave it to the unknown, focus on your intention, right? I talked about the intention in the beginning. What is your intention for the day? Like Chaya practices with me every single day. Intention, Chaya, thank you for joining now. Intention is to say that how do you want to be, not doing. We all do. We are like so tuned into doing this, doing that, doing this, everything. We cook every day, we perform a task, we go to office, we reply back to emails. We're doing, doing, doing. When are you being? When I'm say being, you're being present with yourself, saying that, yes, this is what I want. This is what makes me happy. When you choose to be, I choose to be happy. Now I'm not going to be looking at my neighbor and seeing that he is being happy by doing X things, and I want to go do that. No, that is his choice. You've chosen to do this and be happy, stick with that. Your intention, whatever is if you have chosen this as your intention, hold on to that intention for a second. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say you've booked an economy flight ticket and you've gone into going for a fabulous trip, okay? Now you've taken a vacation of 1 week and you're going to, let's say, Bombay to Hong Kong, 8-hour trip, right? You're getting into the flight and, it's an economy ticket and your intention was to relax on the flight, take a, movie, select a movie, watch that for a few seconds and rest for some time. 8 hours, it'll drop you in Hong Kong and you'll have a fabulous trip. That's how you want to start your trip. What is that? It is an intention. Now you're walking in through the gate and the lady at the boarding says, thank you very much, ma'am. You've been upgraded to business class. I'm super excited about business class. Oh, wow. Okay. Will I reject saying that? No, I will take it. Take the upgrade. I'll go sit down. I'll take selfies. I will text my people. I will tell saying that, oh, I've got an upgrade or whatever. I'm very ecstatic about the change. Or maybe not everybody would respond in that ecstatic, but you're happy in that moment saying that my upgrade has happened to something bigger and you're trying to see what it is and all of that. Now, was that your intention? You're moving away from your intention. I'm not saying don't accept business class. When you're accepting a business class, you're still holding on to the intention that you started your trip with. Now let's take the other extreme. You don't get an upgrade, you go to your economy class and you see somebody else sitting in your window seat that you actually pre-booked and you've come there and so that person is refusing to get up. Okay, now you're calling your flight attendant, making a scene, you're getting stressed. This is stress. You're getting stressed about it. You're cursing that person. Finally, that guy gets up, he goes away and you're sitting, but you're still cursing about that experience. What is happening here? What did you intend? You intended to have a relaxed journey. You're not holding on to that. You are letting go of that and you're focusing on something else. That is when stress happens. So here's what that I would want to close this with is intention. Start your day with intention. Intention is creating your day. When you start creating intentionally, means you're being that person, and then everything else flows in. Sorry,
Thank you,
Kavita.
Prashanthi. I'll request Rishiji to unmute himself and ask his question.
Hello, Rishiji.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hi, Prashanthi. Now I know how come you are so calm and cool and composed. And today I saw the tech guru transformed into a yoga guru, of course. So great session, definitely. I have a question also. I like to learn from you the reason for it also, and at the same time the solution also.
Sure.
The one of the things which, of course, I practice yoga, not very rigorously, but definitely a little bit of it. It benefited me post-COVID. And my question is, sometimes, you know, I'm a good sleep. I get a good sleep. But sometimes during the course of the night, I maybe get disturbed and the sleep pattern is broken. So some people say that you practice Lom Vilom or something else.
Yeah.
And you will get back to that thing, but you don't get the sleep till morning only. So what can be the reason for that?
So one is your subconscious mind is awake. Okay, it's thinking about something consciously, or it's thinking about something constantly, not consciously, constantly. Okay, it could be anything. I don't know what it is, but something that is important for you. It is like probably waking you up at that point. Okay, but first we'll have to understand something. Sleep is something that we all need. It's very important, right? All of us agree to that. Now, unless until we sleep, give rest, we can't function the next day. Okay. Now, an average sleep, how many hours do we need to sleep? 8 to 10 hours as a baby, or maybe 18 hours as a baby. And then as we're growing as an adult, 6 to 8 hours is what is needed. And as we are growing older, 6 hours is absolutely perfect. And probably my parents sleep more now, like, 18 hours, probably they sleep. They're sleeping at 11 o'clock, they're sleeping in the afternoon, they again sleep another 6 hours, 8 hours in the night. They're so blessed, I feel. Now, absolutely. As an grown-up adults, for us, 6 to 8 hours is very essential. That 6 to 8 hours. Now, first to understand that 6 to 8 hours in any form, okay? At a stretch, you need that. It's perfect if you get it in that sleep routine. You keep that routine as a routine. Like, do you miss eating lunch at a certain time and eat it at somewhere else, some other time? No, right? We eat at blocks, 8 to 9 breakfast, 1 to 2 lunch, evening, probably 7 to 8 or 8 to 9 dinner. Now, same way, sleep has to be in a pattern. Your body can't take it if you're disturbing the pattern. Also, before you sleep, like, what are the rituals that you do? Are you like looking at your phone and sleeping, keeping the phone next to you and sleeping, or you're watching a lot of TV and then going to sleep? All of these are part of your changed pattern. This you did not do when you're growing up as a young adult. But as a grown-up adult, you're unable to calm your mind down before you're going to sleep. So what we do is we mind numb. It's called mind numbing. Mind numbing is binge watching Netflix, binge watching something TV, binge watching your phone. All of this is called mind numbing. Means you're not thinking about the problem that you need to address, but you're just numbing your mind and trying to go to sleep. And middle of the night, your brain is waking you up. Hello, listen, we have not solved this problem. Get up. So it would be easier if something that has worked for me is to not to look at any of these gadgets, or preparing myself to sleep. Preparing myself means either you're journaling something so that you offload all your thoughts into the journal, and then you probably having a cup of calming tea or something, or a glass of water or a milk, and then having a good conversation with people whom you love, your family, and then going to sleep. Okay, that has helped me, and that is what I would like to share. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hiru Thadani, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Hiru, are you there?
I don't have a question. I didn't raise my hand.
You had raised the hand.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no worry.
But I enjoyed the session. I'm still enjoying it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Thank
will
you,
request Fernandez sir to give his comments.
A very inspiring journey.
Thank you.
I was only wondering that in this time of pandemic, there's a lot of negative thoughts which keep coming. And you have rightly pointed out a route of controlling one's thoughts processes to handle them, like the issue of surrender.
Yeah.
But do you think that these, particularly when you watch the news, I get up with a happy mind, but as soon as I start watching the news and all that goes on, I proceed to get many negative thoughts. So some people don't watch the news. Do you think that that's an alternative?
So here's what I would say. Simple way of me telling is I don't watch TV at all. I don't watch news. I don't watch TV. I don't read newspapers. I've stopped this many, many years ago, all of this. So when people ask me, oh, you're not updated on your, I'm like, for what? You know, if I'm contributing to that, then I will read about it. I will get to know about it. I'll go deeper. If not, why should I know? I know I can empathize. I know if somebody's sharing with me some incident that has happened, I'll go out of my way to help or be there for that person. But just to look at everything else and then, you know, spoiling my own mind and my own goals and objectives is not going to help me get there anywhere. So one of the things that I would say that has helped me is to stay positive. Now, stay positive is a very loosely used word everywhere, to stay positive. Like, how do you stay positive in middle of all of this going on? Like my dad, you know, WhatsApp message, it's in the face. The news is in the face, right? It's in the WhatsApp messages. My dad keeps looking at it and somebody calls, they're only talking about this. It is like messing up your own thought process around staying positive. You'll get up in the morning and you'll say, I want to be happy today. But there is a lot of things that are happening in the environment. One of the best things to do is we call as change of state. When I say change of state, means getting up from there and moving and doing something else that makes you happy, forcibly. Sometimes you really don't want to do. Like, you know, you probably love making tea, but in that mood, you don't want to make that tea. Okay, you're a great host and you're great making tea, but in that moment of all the negativity that is happening, you're feeling very, very low. That's when we change the state. We change the state means state of being in that negative. You get up and move and do something else. Okay, bring some flowers into your environment, change your curtains or open up your windows or you know, play some music. If you love making tea, just make tea. All of this is part of your being, means changing the state, recognizing that you don't like what you're in, you don't like the state that you're in, and shifting that state is a very simple thing, but consciously you have to keep doing that until it comes to you very naturally. So one of the best things that has worked for me is to write a review at the end of the day, saying that what did I do right and what I could have done differently. Those are the two things that I practice every day. So when I review my day, at the end of the day, I know, like, oh, I should have handled this situation. I shouldn't have listened to so much of people. You know, I shouldn't have talked to this person for such a long time on the phone who gave me only an offload of how bad the entire world is. Right now, was that useful for me? It was not. When it is not useful for you, it's not in your control. Simple thing to do is to change the state, cut the line. I would have said, I write my review that next time when I face something like this, I will say, hey, I'm getting another call. I'll talk to you later. You know, changing the state is something that has worked for me, Fernandez, sir. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will request Sanjay ji to unmute himself and ask his question. Sanjay ji, we can't hear you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Okay, ma'am. Like when we were talking about changing the state, one thought came to my mind that sometimes the monotony of anything can also put your effectiveness, productivity to rest. It may reduce everything. Like I'll give the example of the nuclear submarines. They have got to remain at sea for long, many number of days altogether. So what Prashanthi ma'am just said was that you have to change the state, bring in flowers, put on the music. So what the crew in nuclear submarine does is that they keep rotating the pictures on the wall. They cannot change the environment totally. But this is how they manage the change. This is how they create the new setting, and this is how they change the state. So that is all what I want to submit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, change the state. The simple things that I share. Let's say you're in a heated argument. Okay, you want to change the state. Simplest. What is the simplest thing that you can think of? If it's your own family, you just give a hug and say, "We'll talk about this later." Okay. Or joke about yourself, not about them. Otherwise, the fight was going to go beyond, right? So there are different techniques that you can do. Remember the survival I talked about in the first. This is exactly what we are talking about. Okay, existence, survival. What is your technique to survive? When I say survive, not to just live happily. Like, I don't want to live like that. When you make up that mind that I don't want to live like that, that itself is a change that you're bringing for your own self. Okay, subconsciously, your actions are going to be starting triggering how you want to be after that.
Very true, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody's asking any mudra for good sleep. Yes, prana mudra. Yes, thank you, Hemji. Yeah, Kavita.
My pleasure.
You had shown us the prana mudra, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I will request Chaya madam to give her comments.
I'm so sorry, I have no comments to offer today. I couldn't really benefit enough. I will have to watch the video, but it's always a delight to hear Prashanthi. I mean, whenever I see her, I always realize that someone who could be so young and could still be so balanced and so rooted. And there is so much to learn when you listen, and which is what I did. So that's the only comment I have to offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaya.
Yes.
Kavita ma'am, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please. Please go ahead.
Prashanthi, excellent session. Definitely terrific. But just out of curiosity, I just wanted to know, do we have any compelling alternative to yoga?
Alternative to yoga, it could be anything. As far as these 4 fundamentals that I talked about, intention, awareness, your gratitude and surrendering, right? If these 4 fundamentals can work on anything, it need not be yoga.
So Pilate and all are not alternative to yoga at all?
If you're looking at physical form, yes.
Yeah.
Pilates, running, it could be, biking, a stationary bike in your home. You can have a stationed bike. You can bike for 20 minutes. That increases your cardio, like it increases your heartbeat. It's an overall body. It burns out a lot more calories. Yes, simplest thing would be even to walk for 30 minutes, right? Pilates, yes, that's a different form of exercise, and it is used with a lot of tools along with when you're doing stretching in Pilates. So you have anything that you pick up, you need to do consistently. There should be a pattern, there should be a commitment, there should be to say that I'm doing this consistently because what is the purpose? All of this. So it could be, as I said, yoga is working out for me. For somebody else, something else might be working out. I have my friend Hussein on the call. For him, he does walk by the beach for 1 hour every day, and that works for him. And it keeps him healthy, happy, fit, all of it, right? And now when he is going for that walk on the beach, is he just walking because he wants to change something? No, it's also working on his mind. He's enjoying the seaside. He could walk anywhere around his house. Why does he go to the beach to walk? Because He's embracing that environment to give more benefits out of that. Not only for exercising, but it's also for the mind, for the soul, for kickstarting his day, all of it, right? So yeah, it could be anything that you can hold on to like an anchor. My anchor is yoga. Your anchor could be something else. Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I think this evening is well spent, Prashanthi.
Thank you.
The journey within is, I think, what will make us huge. Huge is getting attached, huge means jodne Marathi Madhe. So if we are working on anything, it's not about asanas or pranayama. It can be anything, and everyone has different calling.
Right.
The whole objective is celebrating life.
Mm-hmm.
That was the title of our program today, the Friday Fundamental, celebrating life. So everyone has to celebrate life, and the way of celebration can be different.
Different, absolutely. Yeah, the fundamentals, if you keep those fundamentals that every human goes through, it's not only you, right? Every human goes through the same evolutionary problems that everybody has. So that itself is comforting, right? Like it's not me alone, it's everybody there along with me. So that itself is comforting. So, young or older, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
There are two things which I always think that, am I the first one to do this or get this? I'm not the first one anytime. No. And second thing, these days will also go. These days are also going to go. These two things are so comforting that any situation you are in, if you are not the first one, someone has come out of it. So you will also come out of it. And this is not the time which is going to stop. You are going to change. You are going to get change. And when you talked about the change in state, it's not only the physical state. I think it is more of mental state.
Mental state, yes.
And one has to understand.
Physical state is the start. When you change physically, when you get up, it is also changing your mental state. The action,
Right.
Yeah.
So there are so many other states that we can enjoy. It's not about, it's music also sometimes. And coincidences, this International Yoga Day is also International Music Day. So sometimes we will celebrate the music also on our BMA platform and celebrate life. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining. Let me remind you that the coming Wednesday, we are starting a new series. The series is celebrating the Indian managers who made a difference. And we have already posted our coming soon posters in all the groups, and you may have received the emails. The first episode of celebrating the Indian managers who made a change is on Dr. Kalyan Sundar Basu, who has been a very pioneering, towering personality in management education. Do join us on Wednesday at 5 o'clock for understanding how they are still relevant and the interesting also. Thank you all for joining for this session. And Prashanthi, let me say this. I wanted to say though, we are not the great number today. We were up to 70, but then it was a very cozy session that you made it. It was just like within the family. So I am sure all of us who are in this call have seen and understood the coziness that we had with a limited number and very openness for discussion and experience also. So thank you so much for this session, and thank you all for coming for this session for celebrating life with yoga. I'll mention, I'll acknowledge the presence of Shri Indrapalji, our Ernest Fernandez sir. Mani sir was there in the beginning for some time, Chaya madam. EC members, Vice President Rajesh ji is here, and Prashanthi herself is giving this webinar. Vigyanji is there, Rishi ji is there, and many students and other colleagues from BMA are there. Thank you very much for joining. Looking forward to your joining on Wednesday also to celebrate a towering personality in management. Every month, last Wednesday, we are going to celebrate their being, their guidance and their learning, how relevant they are and how students and young managers and young executives can learn from them. So thank you so much. Stay home, stay safe, and join us for the BMA Wednesday Wisdom Webinar and Friday Fundamentals. Don't forget to like us on the Facebook and on the YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Wonderfully,
Prashanthi,
wonderful to be part of it. Thank you. Yeah. Great questions as well. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll request for your video so that the Secretariat members can click some photographs also.
Sure. Thank you.
Nirmala madam is also there. I'll acknowledge.
Yes, I just saw her. I said Nirmala is also there today.
Yes, yes.
It's an awesome session. I was just soaking it in.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Great. So thank you. And we can close now.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, bye. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye.